I'm tired. Are y'all tired? Because I'm tired of the system that America has created to keep us going, 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 buying, buying, buying. And it's never enough at work. It's like, do this so you can get this rating. It's never enough. You go out here and try to date, try to be a good person in the world. People don't appreciate that. It's never enough. Bills come back to back. You just paid them, they're coming again. It's never enough. Like, I am so fed up with this system that America has just locked us in, that we are not experiencing life. Like, it's so much life out there, so much going on that we have not experienced because we live here. And I'm tired of feeling like this. Like, I want to get up every day, enjoy the day for me, do whatever I please, and enjoy the day. And it's just like, it'll never happen. I get 2 days out of the week to have for myself. Like, I'm tired.
I just thought about something and this shit got me crying. We get up every motherfucking day to go make some money, to pay bills, to survive. And then within the blink of a motherfucking eye, when the government is ready to wipe a motherfucking city out, we get these quote unquote storms. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bro, we all have been bamboozled. We all keep fucking, bro. America is the biggest scam ever, yo. And who doesn't affect every motherfucking time? Black people. We get affected the motherfucking most. If y'all ain't fucking tired of fucking going through the same shit, motherfucker can't say, man, we still slaves. Ain't shit free about America. This is not the motherfucking land of the free. It's not the motherfucking land of the free. It's not. It's not. Motherfuckers building houses on top of stolen motherfucking land.
Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. First, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. So as you can see from those videos in the beginning, the people are tired of America as a whole. They're tired of America's system. They're tired of Edomite system, the so-called white man's system. You know, they're starting to realize it's not all that. And if you go to the council's videos, the people are saying the same thing as well. You know, the people are mourning right now in Babylon the Great. Not just the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, not just the Israelites. Also the Edomites, and also everyone that's in America, basically. You know, majority of America, majority of Babylon the Great is mourning. The only people who aren't mourning are the people that are at the top, that are rich. But, you know, the middle class and lower, yeah, they're mourning right now because it's getting pretty bad what the so-called white man, Esau, is doing to their own citizens of Babylon the Great. Okay, this is Job 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And this is talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. He is ruling the earth right now. And he's the wicked. And you can just tell by through his actions, through his fruits, because everything he does on the earth goes completely against the Yahweh Shem Shai's way, laws, statutes, and commandments. And so now if we go to, Sirach 10 or Ecclesiasticus 10, starting at verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is a well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroys his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So because the ruler of this world, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is wicked, that means it's the people of this world will also be wicked, because the ruler of this world is wicked as well. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And that's a soon prophecy to come. Yahweh will soon send his son Yahweh Shai to rule over the earth with the 144,000 under Yahweh Shai. And now we're going to verse 7. Actually, I'm going to verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So right now we're seeing that transition of kingdoms being translated from Esau Edom, the so-called white man, to the Israelites, the remnant. Right now, Yahweh Shai is he's fulfilling prophecy, and soon we're waiting on the MOTB off Ready Michael C. Hip and Jacob Strobel. And those are soon to come. Those are right around the corner. But all things are leading up to it. With all prophecies that are going on right now. And the way the world is. Verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man, for such and one setteth his own soul to sale, because while he liveth, he causes away his bowels. So, this is talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's proud because he's ruling the earth, but the only reason he's ruling the earth because Yahweh, Bashem Al-Shah, let him rule the earth by wickedness, because Esau Edom, he goes and conquers and covets other lands. He takes people's lands through killing, robbing, and lies. That's how he gets what he wants, because his blessing is the sword, as it says in Genesis. So he's going to live by the sword, but Esau Edom will live by the sword, but that means he will also die by the sword. And since he led into captivity, he will also go into captivity, as it says in Revelation. So there's no reason for Esau Edom to be proud. And I'm going to start at verse 14. The Lord had cast down the thrones of the proud princes and set up the meek in their stead. And that's what's happening right now. Yahweh Bashem Shai is about to cast down the rulers of this world. And right now, Yahweh Bashem Shai is getting the elect ready in their stead, waiting to be the next rulers of the earth. Verse 15, the Lord had plucked up the roots of the proud nations and planted the lowly in their place. And the lowly are the Israelites, the elect remnant Israelites that, turned back to Yahweh Bashem Shai, repented, the 1/3. Verse 16, the Lord overthrew countries of the heathen and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away and destroyed them, and have made their memorial cease from the earth. Pride was not made for man, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman. Verse 19, they that fear the Lord are sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. So the elect, they're the righteous seed that will be able to endure to the end and keep the commandments of Yahweh Bashem Shai to the best of their ability. So right now we're seeing, if you're following prophecy, you'll know that we're getting closer and closer to Yahweh's return. We're getting closer to the MOTBR for democracy hip coming, and we're getting closer to Jacob Trouble coming on the earth. And right now, Yahweh Shemashai has the elect, remnant ready to put them as kings and priests to rule over the earth very soon. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 11, starting at verse 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant, and be conversant therein, and wax old in thy work. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord, and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord on the sudden to make a poor man rich. So this is Yahweh Shemashai speaking to the hopeful elect, that's in this labor and doing this work in the ministry. He's basically saying, keep doing the work, keep enduring, because it's very easy for him to reverse the tables, because soon he will reverse the tables, and it's coming quickly. And the people at the top of this world, they're about to be in a low state, while the Israelites, the elect, the poor, they're going to be the next rulers of the planet. Verse 22, the blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good things shall I have hereafter? So, we're not supposed to be, complaining about having to do this work, because Yahweh Shemashai is a man of his word that he shall not lie. He will reward you for your work. He most definitely will. He will come through on that. Verse 24, again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? Now, in verse 24, Yahweh Shemashai is speaking to the wicked people on the earth who sold their soul and got their riches on the earth, basically. Verse 25, in the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So when Jacob's trouble comes, all the people who sold their souls to get all the riches and fame, clout and money, in the day of Jacob's trouble, none of that won't matter, because it will just be a pure affliction. And you're not going to be remembering all the things that you possess in this world, because this is not going to matter. All you're going to know is adversity and affliction on that day. And especially when those ICBM missiles hit Babylon the Great, you'll only be thinking about affliction, just pure affliction at that point, because there's nothing else to think about except those nukes hitting. Verse 26, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. And the affliction of an hour make it a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. So you just remember that serve Yahweh Shemashai to the hopeful elect, serve Yahweh Shemashai and endure, because when all hell breaks loose, everything you had beforehand won't matter besides you serving Yahweh Shemashai. Because if you have all the riches in the world and, you don't know Yahweh Shemashai, well, guess what? In the day of Jacob trouble, Yahweh Shemashai is not going to come to your rescue. And those riches won't save you. All those women won't save you. That house won't save you. That yacht won't save you. The business won't save you. No, none of that will save you in that day. If you don't have Yahweh Shemashai on the day of the Lord, all you're going to know is affliction. But if you do have Yahweh Shemashai on your side in a day of affliction, you won't know. You'll still be going through affliction. Don't get me wrong, you'll still be going through the fire. But it'll be somewhat easier, because you have hope and this is not the end of the road. You're going on a journey to the inheritance. So, and knowing that you have Yahweh Shem Shai, you could do all things because you know that Yahweh Shem Shai is in your corner and that he will help you in that day. This is Ecclesiastes 3, starting at verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to run and a time to sue, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. So basically, King Solomon is saying that there's a time for everything. And right now, we're not at a time of peace anymore on earth. Back then, it was a time of peace and prosperity for America, Babylon the Great. But right now, it's time for Babylon the Great to, reap what it sows, as it says in the scriptures. It's a time for war, time for hate, It's because America, Babylon the Great, is divided on all fronts. So that's what's going to lead to a time of war and a time of hate. And that's what Yahweh Shem Shai is bringing to the earth. He's bringing war to the earth. This is Isaiah 14, starting at verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And what it says, Lucifer in verse 12, it just means light bearer. And you could be a light bearer for righteousness or a light bearer for wickedness. And in this context, it's speaking light bearer for wickedness, because this is speaking about the top elites, the top echelon Edomites, the top so-called white men that ruled the earth, and how they did weaken the nations through their covetousness, lies, invasions, and other lands, for their resources, to kill and destroy the other nations. So, that's how they, did it. Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They shall see thee. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? So when Jacob's troubles is past, and as it says in Jeremiah, the prophets are turned from fishers into hunters. When we get into our immortal bodies, the 144,000 men prophets, after they get changed into their bodies, they're gonna go find the top elites that rule the earth, the top wicked rulers that rule the earth. They're gonna go find them in their bunkers and take them as the first fruits for slavery in our world, when all prophecies has passed to get to that point. And then we're gonna be looking at them like, these are the people that caused the earth that caused the earth to be like this. to be like so abominable. Verse 17, that made the world as wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. So yeah, when 144,000 men, prophets, come to find the top rulers of the top wicked rulers of the earth, they're gonna be looking at them like, wow, these are the guys that was causing terror to the earth. That's how it's gonna be like, because that's gonna show the power of Yahweh B'Shem Ashai, of he basically saying, this is basically Yahweh B'Shem Ashai saying he chooses who he lets rules the earth, basically. So to speak on the previous precept, to go more in on that, this is Daniel 4 verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High, Yahweh, ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and set it up over it the basis of men. So this is telling us, this verse is telling us that Yahweh B'Shem Ashai, they choose who's going to rule the earth. Because as it says in Proverbs 20 verse 24, and in Job, there is no free will. Yahweh B'Shem Ashai, they're in full control of everyone. And also, Yahweh B'Shem Ashai, if we go to the last part of the verse, it says he set it up over it the basis of men, which means the lowest of men. And why did Yahweh B'Shem Ashai do this? It's simply just to show his power, that he's in control, that there's no free will. And if we go to Salakia, if we go to the definition of basis, go to number 2, denoting or befitting a person of low social class. So that's how Yahweh B'Shem Ashai views the Edomites. As it says in the scriptures, the Edomites are the basis of men. And Yahweh B'Shem Ashai did this to show his power to us, the Israelites. With that, I want to say, Call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushua, B'Shem Kakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and were well. And I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Lord willingly, I pray that that's edifying lesson. And with that, I want to say Shalom.